Thanks for joining us. You're watching Welcome Home, and I'm Rachel Holder with Compass Real Estate. And right now, we're back in the studio with Clay Boone with New American Funding. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. It's
I appreciate
nice to meet
it. Tell me, first of all, tell me about Clay Boone. I did a little bit of research, so I saw that you have roots that run deep in Middle Tennessee. I also saw that you're a Trevecca Hall of Famer. So tell me about that, and then how do you get from that to being in the mortgage business?
Oh, that's a good question. So they let anybody into Trevecca Hall of Fame, so I just want to let you know that. But no, yes, I'm an East Nashvilleian, very proud East Nashvilleian.
That's great.
Four sisters growing up, so that kind of shows you my mental state.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, no, pretty neat. And then, yes, I did attend Trevecca University and on a baseball scholarship, and did a little bit of studying, so I managed to graduate. And, you know, at that point in time, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to play baseball, you know, and for a couple of reasons, that just didn't happen. And so I was lost at that point. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I went to graduate school. Somebody said, hey, you'd be a good lawyer. And I said, okay. Yeah, I didn't want to be a lawyer. So I went to a graduate, 1 year of graduate school, and ended up coming back one summer, and a good friend of mine who was in the business said, hey, why don't you try the mortgage business? And so I jumped in and didn't know what a mortgage was, didn't know what a listing agent was. And but with that being said, the first thing I learned was the mortgage business is competitive. And of course, being an athlete, very competitive. So that part of it I liked. And I could basically use the values that I had with athletics, from vision, goals, and things like that. But the most important thing I found was that, helping families provide them that dream of home ownership, which honestly didn't think about going into it, but that's significant and certainly very gratifying.
Now, your business is a little different. You have been labeled the mortgage race guy, which
right.
I find really intriguing. So how did that come about?
That's another good question. So with that being said, my oldest son, Jackson, he races late models, which it's a NASCAR style car. And I'll just throw a little plug in here. We won the championship last year at the fairgrounds.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
congratulations to him.
Thank you. So, but with that being said, he had a passion when he was young, and I always say God has a sense of humor because not a racing guy. We didn't first generation racing family and didn't know much about it, but as he grew, we realized this was a real thing for him. And so as parents, you're going to figure out, how do we get our kids where they need to be, support them. So we jumped into quarter midgets, which is basically miniature race cars. He began at 9. Which is actually a late age in racing. You'd be surprised. But with that being said, he showed some promise. The first 2 years were the worst of my life because I didn't know anything about it. And but fast forward to now, he's running the late models, runs around the Southeast. And in racing, it's so encompassing as far as it's a full-time job. So the family's involved. And now I'm Jackson Boone's dad. I'm not Clay Boone.
I love it.
At this point, that's my identity, so to speak. So the mortgage race guy was kind of a natural segue into that.
I love it. Well, I can tell that you're definitely a family guy. So let's talk about what you came here for. Mortgages. What advice would you give to that family who's looking to get a mortgage, maybe buy their first home, or even if it's their 5th home? I know you have some steps that make it real easy and break it down for us.
Yeah, those broad steps, and we could go into the minutiae of it, but the broad steps basically, first of all, get with a mortgage professional that you trust, and because that's the most important part. You have an interview process that's pretty deep. You fill out an application. They're looking into your employment history, looking into your residential history, they pull credit, that part of it. We know your blood type and that type of thing. So, and then at that point, we tailor a product for that customer, and at that time we provide a pre-approval letter. We provide it to the real estate agent, and then at that time, they're ready to grow and look for houses, and that agent will take them and look for homes, and hopefully find that perfect home, place an offer on that home, and end up hopefully getting a signed contract. And then at that point, it comes back to us. And that process takes about 22 to 28 days. It's really an intense process because we have a lot of folks behind the scenes working on that loan. We're vetting, using third-party vendors to vet employment, rent, going back over the credit again. There's an appraisal order. There's just a whole lot of things that go into that piece of it.
That's why they need you. You make it seem so easy.
Well, it's being me. I have a team of 4, 5, 6 folks that jump in there. It's not about me. It really isn't. I'm the front guy, but I'm telling you, they're the smart people, and they get it done. So
tell me real quick, we're out of time. I'm going to have you come back and talk just about mortgages. Tell me real quick, though, where people can find you online.
Well, they can find me at www.newamericanfunding.com/Clay Boone. And they can Google me too, and they'll find me.
Thank you so much, Clay.
Thank you,
I appreciate
Rachel.
it. Well, stay with us, because when we come back, we've got one of the stars of Pool Kings sharing some gorgeous pools that you don't want to miss. Stay with us.